Welcome back to Runabout Revival. When it comes to harnessing the increased power of our enhanced turbo engine, a reliable and responsive clutch system is non-negotiable. Today, watch as I upgrade the hydraulic section of the clutch system, from the master cylinder's connection to the clutch pedal all the way back to a Camry slave cylinder. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. This is Runabout Revival. Alright, some quick updates. Pretty much done with the new wiring harness. It's on the right side here. You'll notice it's a little slimmer as it goes up, and obviously missing a fuse block. Those wires come off here, plug into the AEM harness over here. Even the tops look a little bit less bulky. Determined that my clutch master cylinder is bad. That's why the pedal's going to the floor. I do still have a leak where the line goes to the back of the engine compartment before it goes to the slave cylinder. So I'm going to switch that out as well, but clutch master cylinder back here is going to have to come out. So I'm going to start looking at that, order the part. Back here, I've wanted to take this part out. One, it's rusty and not painted, and a lot of the lines are now not going to be going to where they were before. So I'm just going to take this part out possibly and replace it with just a couple extended lines that go to where they're supposed to. I don't really need this metal pass-through part nor the hook for the engine. So there are two bolts. There's a 14 right here, and then on the other side down here, there's actually a 10 mil down there. You can get to it this direction. Can't really show. My flashlight's dead, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, clean up that area a little bit, and that should make it a little bit cleaner looking in here as well. Next, I'm actually going to start removing the engine wiring harness so I can start planning for the future upgrade there. More to come. Part of my clutch replacement is replacing this clutch master cylinder here. This is actually the original 1991 from the red car, I believe. When I push the pedal down, it actually goes all the way to the ground. That seems to be a sign that this thing's not good. So since I'm replacing basically every other part of the system, might as well replace this as well. It's only like 20 some bucks anyways. I've already taken off, there's a 12mm nut right there past my fingertip. I've already taken that almost off. Just wanted to film this so you can kind of see what it looks like. Use an extension, 12mm socket with a wobble on the end just to get a slight angle there. So you will have to remove this bolt right here, which is a 12mm also, which holds this headlight control module. That bracket attaches where that bolt goes. There's also a 10mm nut on the back. As you can see, this is the stud coming from the inside out where you put the 12mm. On this side, there's a 10mm bolt that goes in this side. So now we're going to go inside and take that off. There we go. All right. Regret this. That was not as bad as I expected it to be. I thought that was going to be just pouring out, but not too shabby. Okay. I think I still have a pedal connection inside actually to make, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm down here, I also got a new pin. I don't know if you can see that. This is the point that where the plunger meets the pedal. And so that's also the last point of connection before I can pull out the old master cylinder. So that's right up here. I don't know if you can see it from there. This part. I'll pull that off. I think I can see it. I don't know. And we'll go from there. There's a cotter pin, and I think that just comes out. Cotter pin and the old pin. Doesn't look awful, but does have some wear on it, so I'll replace it. So now that that pin's out, should be able to just slide the old master cylinder out now. Let's see if that's right. Ah, perfect. I'll just cut all that bullshit out. It should just slide out now. Alright, so now that that's out, really the only thing I want to make sure to do is I want to make sure that this rod is the same length as the new one, roughly. I want to say that's a little bit. This one's shorter, so I'm going to lengthen it a little bit. To do that, I'm just going to loosen this nut, turn that out, and get it the right length here. We're going by the bar at the end here. And one more turn might get us too far, but let's see what that looks like. I think that's perfect, so go ahead and tighten that nut down. Finger tight's fine. All right, let's feed this guy back through. Let's get this trash out of the way. You can see the hole, hey-oh, right there, right into the footwell. Let's slide this bad boy back in there. It's binding up on stuff already. Cool, cool. Awesome. Oh, there it goes. Work with it. Perfect. Money. All the new ones in. I'm gonna go ahead and secure the two nuts, one on the outside here on the bottom left, and then the top left from the inside. Let's just get it right on there. Oh, I saw that coming. Okay. Turn that on. The wrong way. Get a little bit going. All right, it's on. Let's go get the inside real quick. Okay. Should probably go ahead and put the new pin in. There we go. And it also has a little plastic part on it. It looks like the old one stayed up here, so let me pull that out real quick. Oops. Power button on the light. And at the same time, pulled up the thing here. See it on there? All right. The plastic has to go in the pedal part, and then the other part goes over it. That makes more sense because that's exactly what came out, so. There we go. New pushing is in. Okay. Now we can get this in there. There we go. Okay. Now I should be able to put the cotter pin in. But I'm not gonna contort like that right now, so. So I took the hook off the engine in the meantime before I paint it. It's making a pretty good little base for my magnet flashlight while I'm working. Since I cleaned off the top of the engine, a lot of that stuff dripped down here the last couple of days, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the bottom there, and so I can get under there. Since I did the master cylinder for the clutch, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the slave cylinder back here by the transmission. So let's get to work. Ah, dirty. What we're gonna be messing with today is right here. That is where the hard clutch line comes from the front of the car. And then this goes to the actual, this line goes to the slave on the transmission. Because I actually have an interference issue with the turbo being slung as low as it is on this kit, I actually need to remove the MR2 clutch hard lines. It has this dual stage system, which is completely unnecessary. So a lot of people switch it out with a Camry slave. So that's what we're gonna do here. So we can remove that extra double hardline bracket and make room for the turbo. So let's get to work by removing some stuff. Hey, I'm gonna go get under the car and take the engine mount off while I'm underneath the engine. So if you hear screaming, just, you know, call 911 or something. All right. To remove the slave cylinder, I have to remove the front engine mount. So now that I've taken my safety precautions by letting my girlfriend know that I'm working underneath the car, up on jack stands directly under the engine while I'm removing the engine mounts, safety first, I've gone ahead and removed the actual cross bolt that goes through, that connects the two mounts, and all but the last bolt on the mount. I just wanted to show you guys what the old one looks like before we are gonna actually switch it out to an innovative mount instead of this one when we go back. So just gonna remove that one bolt, we should be good to go. Let's see if I can prop this up on something so you can see. There's like a 0% chance it's gonna work out. Fuck me. Close enough. I think you get the gist of it from there. So directly under the engine, very important. Obviously I'm joking, there's 3 other engine mounts. I checked them all to make sure. And when I pulled the cross bolt out, it was actually loose. So it's not putting any load at all down on this corner. So we are totally fine here. But it's kind of funny. Now I gotta be careful with these threads here because this is an area that tends to want to strip. So be careful. Oh shit. I thought that I removed that already, but it's still in there, so let's pull it out real quick. And then I crushed myself with the engine. Cool. So you can see that engine mount is fine. It's actually new. I put this in new back when I put the engine from the turbo car into this NA car. And that was back in 2003, I think. Haven't touched it since. Fun times. And I couldn't remember if I had a helicoil any of these or not. I don't remember. It was too long ago. It might have been a different car and I was misremembering because these look fine. And I didn't see any issues with the threads at all. We'll see when it comes time to torque it down if it holds the, I forget if it's 40 or 50 foot-pounds. I'll definitely put it down to spec because, again, you don't want to strip those. But anyways, we got that part of the mount off. I'm going to remove this part so I can get to the slave bolt mounts, and then we can go from there. I'm going to stop the recording because it's going to be behind my head. So I've unscrewed the part of the bracket that connects to the top, and then I've knocked out the retaining ring of this other one here. Sorry, I wasn't looking at it. Just pull that out. Put that up here for now. And all I have to do is take out 2 12mm bolts. There's one here and one here. Got the old slave cylinder out. They're interfering with this hose here. Here's the new Camry slave. Does not have the hose in this where you're going to be able to get rid of these hard lines. I believe this is the original slave cylinder from the red 91 turbo donor car. And here you can see the new Camry slave cylinder is already installed. While I'm buying some other parts, I also got a stabilizer bushing for the engine mount, as well as spherical shifter cable bushings, and some other odds and ends for replacing various bushings regarding the shifter. Here I've reinstalled the shifter cables. You can also see the new innovative rear engine mount, but I have not yet put on the new bearing kits. Since I put on the front engine mount, I also replaced the rear engine mount. I plan on replacing the other two soon as well. With everything going back together, I took the opportunity to put the intake in place to see what it would look like. Found a few things that need to make some changes, like the fuel return line. Otherwise, looks pretty good. Forgot to film any of it, but I did just bleed the clutch system. I was using this new air compressor as well as this new vacuum evacuator here. I don't know what to call it, but this thing is great. Also from Harbor Freight. I think it was like 70 bucks or something on sale. Way better than trying to use that little hand pump. So very excited to have that done, and moving on to the next steps.